It's Sunday night, and this is the Conjugal Visit on KGFRocks.com.
Yeah, KGFRocks.com, and welcome to Conjugal Visit. I'm Free Ride, along with my good friend Guido. How you doing, Guido?
Well, I'm here. Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's up, dude? What are you doing?
Just watching this. Was watching this boring ass game.
Oh yeah, it's boring. It's boring. I mean, 27-7, fixing to score again. We're looking at 35-7. Carolina's just killing them. I knew they would. I called it.
I'm just glad the Pats finally lost.
Yeah, I'm glad the Pats lost too. So it's Denver and Carolina going to the Super Bowl this year. No getting around it. I'm watching the look on the Cardinal players' faces, and they're done.
Yeah, they're done. But they've been there before. I mean, they were there not that long ago.
Yeah, they were. It's Carolina's turn, and they definitely deserve to be in the Super Bowl. That's my opinion. They've been a great team all year. One loss all season, and they shouldn't have even lost that game. It was only because Cam was on the sideline for most of it.
Right.
But
they played good. They had a good season.
Yeah, good season. They deserve it. They earned it. They definitely did. They did earn it. So, yeah, and so I'm being meleeed. Yeah, sure, I can send it to you.
Who's that?
Our guest's promoter is on there.
That's Donna, right?
Yeah, it's Donna. Yeah, she's funny.
Yeah.
She's a trip. I gotta share with her some information, and we're here at Conjugal Visits. Things have really just moved forward with us here. Tonight's very special guest is Alan Tecchio, lead singer from Silent Assassins and the band Watchtower. So it's going to be really exciting to listen and to talk with him this evening. And it's going to be kind of cool. So, but to bring into a sad note, an artist died last week, and that was Mr. Glenn Fry passed away. And that was
what is going
sad.
on with these people?
I don't know, dude. Man, they're just dying off left and right. They are dying off left and right, man. I don't get it. I guess we get to that age. Mm-hmm. I guess we get to that age, and we just know that sooner or later these guys are going to start dropping like flies.
Yeah, but they're like, first we had Lemmy, then we had David Bowie, now Glenn Fry, and it's like, I know they say it happens in threes, but we also lost a couple of people that were not as big as them, like the drummer from Mott the Hoople passed away.
Yeah. Yeah,
and I think Bowie's drummer died too, or somebody.
And didn't just today or yesterday? I guess it was. Let me find it. I know I've got it. I posted it on my page. He maybe I didn't post it on my page. Should have. He was, for crying out loud. Where did I put that? I know I put it somewhere. We've got it all together, man. We're so together today, man. I don't get it. We're not with it at all.
Never. We never are.
We never are. We're not. That's right. It's never. We never have it together.
No, we just play by the seat of our pants, man.
Yeah, that's all. That's all. Bassist from Dio.
Jimmy Bain?
Jimmy Bain passed away. Yes.
Oh,
Jimmy Bain passed away yesterday afternoon. So
Jimmy
there's another
Bain
one.
was just more than the bassist for Dio, he was also songwriter, and he was pretty big on the metal scene. He did things with other artists and things like of that nature. Wow, that's very that's sad. That's a sad loss. What the hell's going on, man?
I don't know, dude. Like I said, as we get older, I guess they're going to really start dropping like flies. They're getting into their late 60s and early 70s, and some of these guys are out there touring. I mean, do you imagine you watching a rock show of one of your favorite bands and the lead singer drops and dies on stage or something?
Well,
crazy?
that's what happened with Scott Weiland earlier in the year.
Yeah, he died just prior to a show.
Yeah, he was on the tour bus, and Scott Weiland is just a few years older than myself. So I mean, it doesn't just take the old; it's taken everybody.
Yeah, it is one of those things, man. Winter's always tough on rock and roll, I think.
Right.
I think it's every winter we have this conversation about these guys dropping like flies. But I expect. I mean, I expect to see a lot more this year. I got a hunch that quite a few more are going to be passing along. But that's depressing. I don't want to talk about that.
No, you don't. It is depressing, but there's other things to talk about. I'm just very, it sucks that all these guys are gone. And who's next? We should have a pool
To say who's. Oh no, that's cold, man. Dude, we can't do that.
I got $20 on Meatloaf.
I got $20 on Meatloaf. Although Meatloaf has really straightened his act out, man.
He has. Yeah,
he's lost a lot of weight, man.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not just like David Bowie passed away from an illness. It wasn't his hard lifestyle. Well, maybe it had something to do with it. And Glenn Frey had surgery and had shit happen. But do you think that most of these guys are dying because of their hard living? But if that's the case, then why the fuck is Keith Richards still alive?
Well, that's just just who you are, man. It's luck of the draw. Mm-hmm. I mean, Keith Richards. I mean, if you did the match, the short match thing with him, he'd win it 10 out of 20 times. He'd never pull that short match.
No, he's just like, I don't get it. He's like, we should he should be a scientific study on how to live forever.
Yeah, definitely.
He still fucking gets drunk and parties. He's still, partying. He really is.
He is. He's definitely a partier. No question about it.
So what, did you watch the games at all, or did you?
I watched the second half of the Patriots game.
Okay.
And that was exciting. That wasn't boring in anything. He just couldn't get it in the end zone. He got it in the end zone, but he couldn't get the extra 2 points. So they lost the game. But it was a good game. That was a good game. This was a blowout. I'm watching a blowout here out of the corner of my eye.
Tom Brady's a big fucking crybaby anyways. I can give two shits about him. He deserves to lose. I don't dislike the Patriots. I don't dislike New England. I fucking hate Tom Brady. That's So it's just like, he cries when he loses, and it's all like, well, dude, why? I mean, you lost. So the fuck what?
Yeah. Well, we can't win them all.
No.
And if we were able to win them all, then why have a league?
Sure. Right. Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. But the things are I think the way they should be. I think the right people won.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the two number one teams in the league won.
Mm-hmm.
The Denver Broncos and the Carolina Panthers were both number one in their respective conferences,
right.
And they deserve to go to the Super Bowl. That's the way it's supposed to be. If you're ranked number 5 and you go to the Super Bowl, well, it's going to be a boring Super Bowl. I think this is going to be a fun Super Bowl. I think this is Peyton Manning's last go.
Right.
And I think he's going to win the Super Bowl. He's going to win the ring finally.
I don't know about that, man. He's got a ring.
Oh, yeah, he does, doesn't he? Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
I think
he's got a ring.
He may go out on top. Whether he wins or loses the Super Bowl, he will win. He will go out on top.
And he should. There's no denying his pure skill and his ability. He's an amazing quarterback. And the thing about it though is, if he does lose this Super Bowl, he needs to just retire or move on, because I don't want to see him like how Brett Favre was, who just kept fucking going for it and going for it and going for it.
No, I
Switch
think
teams and
I think he's done. He's got himself a Papa John's franchise, and he's a happy camper. I think
he's got about fucking 200 Papa John's franchises.
Yeah, so I think he's about done.
Well, you know what else he's about done with is I think he's about done with the Broncos. I think this will be his last year, regardless of if he wins or loses.
Do you think if he goes to another team, dude, he will end up being in a Joe Montana kind of a thing when he went to Kansas City, where he's on the bench and he's a quarterback coach?
I don't. There are two different types of players. Joe Montana, I'm not putting nothing against Joe Montana, but Joe Montana that was okay. He was accepted. He accepted the fact that he was just a mentor. Right. Peyton Manning still thinks he's a fucking a superstar, and he should. He should think that, and that's the way you should feel. But the players of today are not like the players of yesterday. Like you had like Vinny Testaverde, who would go to any team possible and sit on the bench till it was his time to play. Peyton Manning and the players of today are not like that. You'll never see Tom Brady back nobody up. You'll never see Peyton Manning back nobody up. You know what I mean? They are not going to do that.
Right.
But is it good or wrong? I think it's bullshit, because you did your time. You had your time in the spotlight. Now teach somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what that Joe Montana thing was all about. I can't remember San Francisco, who was it that Bono? Who took over after, who was that?
Bono. It was Steve.
Steve Young.
Yeah, Steve Young. Yeah, he took over.
He took over after Montana left, but Montana was teaching him all the time. Mm-hmm. And Steve Young turned out to be a good quarterback.
Well, a lot of people forget that Steve Young didn't just come to the 49ers from nowhere. He was in the USFL, and he was successful in the USFL.
Yeah.
He was a top 3 quarterback in the USFL, along with Jim Kelly and Vinny Testaverde. Not Vinny Testaverde. Vinny Testaverde.
Yeah.
So those were the top 3 quarterbacks in the USFL. Then he came to the NFL. There you go. Jim Kelly got his starting spot in Buffalo. Then he got his starting spot in was it Tampa Bay? Vinny started on. I can't remember.
Yeah, Tampa Bay.
And then Steve Young had to back up Montana, who was on fire. So it was like, whatever. But they did it the right way. It was just like how Brett Favre mentored Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is a better quarterback because he got to sit that year behind Brett Favre.
Right.
And it makes a big difference. I mean, look at some of the quarterbacks now, like Andrew Luck. If he had the opportunity to sit behind Peyton Manning for a year, he would have been a better quarterback.
Well, yeah, that's for damn sure. But I don't think he did. I don't think he had that time.
No, he didn't.
No.
But it's really a different. We're in a different NFL than we used to be. It's win now. Nobody wants, we're rebuilding, we're doing this. No, you need to win now.
Right. Exactly. Yeah,
but,
and that's the mentality of the NFL anyways. You need to win right now or you're gone.
You do, and who cares? But anyways, let's. Who do we got on tonight?
Oh, definitely. We have Mr. Alan Tecchio, and Alan is the lead guitarist from our friend Michael LaPon's Silent Assassins, and he's the lead vocalist. And then he's also vocalist with Watchtower.
Watchtower. All
yeah, right. Good stuff, man. They do. I want to ask him about this mathematic thing.
That mathematics. That's his album or something coming out or something.
Yeah,
or
that's been out for quite a while, but he's been working on it. It's a lifelong project of his, and I can't wait to figure this thing out. And before we bring him on, I'm going to go ahead and play from that EP, and it's a good one. It really is a good one. So we're going to play the size of matter before we bring him in. So
the size is matter. Is it the size matters?
No, it's the size of matter.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's not the size that matters.
Oh, okay.
Get your mind out of the freaking gutter.
It's always there.
It's
Now,
it's looking like we're not going to have Mary Jane 420 tonight. It's looking that way. I'm not really
she hit.
sure.
She had too many bong hits, and she.
Yeah, I think she's probably curled up in a corner somewhere, just kind of, well, fuck them guys. I don't need to go on their fucking show. But no, she's wonderful. She probably had something going on, so I
But
guess
shit happens, or maybe she's stuck in weather. She is the weather lady.
she is. She is truly the weather lady. So she did really good last week. I was hoping that she would, and she picked them here. She liked Carolina to win this thing. So
Yeah,
hey,
she did.
yeah. So
She knows her shit.
she does know her shit, and we definitely will miss her tonight. But this is funny as hell, man. I had to get a hold. I tried to get a hold of Donna. Couldn't get a hold of Donna. I tried to get a hold of Alan. Couldn't get a hold of Alan. Finally, I noticed that Mike Lapon is on Facebook, and I hit him on Facebook just on a chance that he's not busy. And I said, dude, can you get a hold of Alan for me, man? I'm having a hard time finding him. And then Donna hits me finally. She goes, you guys need to promote the show. I said, it's on our Facebook page. It's on our web page. I don't know how much more advertising you want me to do. I mean, it's there.
So you hit up a rock star you bothered a rock star
I
on a
bothered
Sunday
a
night.
rock star to get a hold of another rock star to make sure that we're all set up for tonight's show. So it's one of those things, man. It's one of those things. That's rock and roll, man. That's rock and roll. I'm just grateful that we're being able to do the show tonight.
Me too.
That's all there is to that. So
And ladies and gentlemen, speaking of the Super Bowl, if for some reason you don't want to watch the Super Bowl, tune into our Illy program show for one of our best shows ever.
yeah, and it's going to be awesome. It's going to be Gabby Ray, and
That's
I've been plastering Gabby Ray all over Facebook. So if you don't know who Gabby Ray is, Gabby's a rocking girl, man, and she is going to bring it. It's going to be a lot of fun. We've got some good music from her, and we've also going to have her in an interview, which is very, very cool. So,
Yes, it is.
yeah, and then after that, the following week is Sam Bam Colton, who is her lead guitarist.
That's
You
right.
notice how we're sticking with a theme here. We got
Yes.
Mike Lapon and then his vocalist, and then we're going to have Gabby Ray, and then have Gabby Ray's lead guitarist. By the way, they're both under 21.
Okay.
Sam is under 21, and so is Gabby. And they are, let's see, how can I put it? I want to find out what their limitations are when they're playing these clubs and playing these venues.
Oh, there's no limitations on stage. If you're an entertainer, there is none. There's no, because you're working, and as long as you're legal age to work, I think you're fine. And I think if you're like under a certain age, you can't perform at certain hours, But as long as they do it like on Fridays and Saturdays, they're fine. And but I did want to say something, and I wanted to talk to our fan base out here. If you go to kgfrocks.com right now, on the right hand side of the page, there's a hand holding a music note, and it says "Save Internet Radio." What's going on, people, is that independent music publishers, independent bands, independent record labels, and webcasters like us are being forced out by high prices. Okay. And we need to make a stand about that. We're not saying that people don't need to get paid, because people need to get paid. But what's going on is the rate hikes are going from one amount to 600% hike. And it's not, nobody can survive on that. We're going to be able, all the little guys like us and all the independent record labels and all the independent artists are going to be pushed the fuck out by the big corporate.
And that's what's going on, folks. That's exactly what's going on. You're not going to hear these indie bands on a regular radio station. You're not going to hear these indie records on big radio stations. You're only going to hear it on stations like ours.
Right. So go sign the petition.
Go sign the petition on our page, and I promise you, it'll make a big difference in your freedom to choose the music that you want to hear.
That's right. Now it's done through Future of Music Coalition. This is going to be brought to Washington D.C. It's going to be brought right to Congress or whatever. And what we're trying to do is collectively between independent artists, independent radio and radio stations, I said they're trying to push this out. So we all support fair and transparent payment to the artists and rights holders when their work is used. We also recognize that small webcasters are vitally important to musical culture, whether it's small community FM radio stations or online webcasters who program niche music. Commercial FM radio is focused on narrow, repetitive playlists due to tremendous consolidation in station ownership. So we need to stop that, and we have the power to stop that.
We do have the power. And the power is in your hands, folks. So go in there and sign the petition for us, okay? And you're going to be hearing a lot more of this. I hope you don't get tired of hearing it, but you're going to hear a lot more of this coming your way here in the near future from kgfrocks.com, okay? So we really need your help that way. That would be a big help. You know, we don't beg you for money. We don't ask you. We're not asking you for money right up front. We're just asking you to go to our website and sign the petition to help keep us rocking.
And we only need 508 more signatures to reach our goal so that we can pass it on to, the Senate and the House or whatever and get our chance to speak. So 508 more people need to sign this petition for it to be a legal petition.
We've had 1,200 listeners to our show in the last 2 months. That's less than half of those need to sign that petition. So go help us out, folks. Okay, we do appreciate it.
And that's enough begging for the night. I just want to get it out there because, it's an important thing, man.
Sure.
And it's not just an important thing for us radio stations. It's also an important thing for bands like Alan Tecchio and like Gabby Ray, and also for these small independent record labels that don't have the resources and money to pay for this stuff.
That's right. That's right.
And they're important too, because you know what? People in the big record labels, you got guys in suits with degrees on the wall in finance and stuff who are picking what music gets played. And same with the radio stations. The small webcasters and the small independent labels are picking music because they like it. It's a big difference.
That's a big difference. That's a big difference. So it's all good. It's all good. Okay, well, since I'm not getting an answer from our good friend Mary Jane 420, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and play Watchtower.
Okay.
And this is The Size of Matter. And we're gonna play that for you, and then we'll be right back with our very special guest, Alan Tecchio. Okay? So hang in there. This is KGFRocks.com and the Conjugal Visit. Hey, welcome back to the Conjugal Visits. And I'm free ride along with my good friend Guido, and we have a very special guest in our studio, Mr. Alan. Are you there, man?
I am, man. I'm here.
Hey, Alan Tecchio, first of all, lead singer from Watchtower and also Silent Assassins with Mike LaPon, and many, many more projects that we're going to be able to talk about tonight. And welcome to the show, man.
Hey, man. Thanks so much. Thanks for having me, guys.
Appreciate you coming on board. Hey, listen, we were just listening to that song. That was done in 2010, is right?
Yeah, Size of Matter was 2010. We'd gotten back together after a long hiatus from like 1990 on. We started with Ron Jarzambek's fingers. He had to have surgeries on his fingers in like 1990, 91. And that just put the band on hold for a few years. Mm-hmm. After that, I moved back to Jersey, went on my own path, and then many, many years we reconnected later. And 2010, we did that one song, which was pretty cool. And we played a show in Germany right after that, too.
So now there was a 20-year gap in there. Did you guys just get right back into it and click right away, or was it a process?
Well, it was definitely different. I mean, those guys all live in Texas, and I'm in New Jersey. So, but now with the internet, we can do a lot of that stuff online. And they're really particular about how they want the vocals to be. So it was a really difficult thing to get Size of Matter done, to be honest with you. But we finally nailed it down and got it.
Well, I got to be honest with you. When I first heard Mike LaPon's Silent Assassins, of course, Mike LaPon, great bass player. But one of the things that drew me to the album was the vocals. And the way you just wail them vocals was like, why isn't this guy more famous? And it's I mean, because there's some singers out there that are famous that suck balls, man. I mean, they're horrible.
I know.
And you got these pipes, and it's like there's so many people out there like you yourself that what the hell's going on with the record buying public?
Is there even a record buying public?
Well, that's a thing we were talking about too earlier. Is that a lot of the record labels, the suits decide who goes on. These guys that have degrees and whatever. What the hell do they know about music? Nothing. And it's a shame because like your voice. Like I swear to God, when I heard it, I was like, wow, who is this guy? And I had to look you up. And thank God I did, and thank God we got you on the show because, man, you got some pipes.
I appreciate that, man. That really means a lot to me. And I'm cool being the underdog and the unsung hero. I'm good with that. And it's cool that people even care, like you guys with the interview tonight. It's awesome.
We do.
We do, and we do care about the bands out there that we want the bands that the huge record labels won't touch because they're afraid. And I don't know what the fuck they're afraid of, man. I'm going to be honest with you because this Silent Assassins album is just tremendous. Folks out there, if you're listening, go look it up, man. The whole album rocks, and there's no getting around that. And you guys did a fantastic job on that. How did you and Mike LaPon hook up, man?
So Mike LaPon and I played together in Seven Witches with Jack Frost. We're actually not on any of the same albums, but we actually played a lot of live shows together and are on different albums.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's how we met, really. I mean, I knew his name and I knew about him from being in New Jersey because that's where he's from. But other than that, I never really knew him. But when we played together in Witches, he was just so rock solid, and he was such a humble, nice guy. And that's what makes Mike LaPon so great. Like, he still plays gigs with local little bands and makes no money, lugs his own gear in there, like, totally sweats it out, waits around all night to make maybe $10, if that.
Right.
And I asked him why he did that. I was at a show with Seven Wishes before we went on stage. I was just talking to him. I'm like, why do you do that, dude? I'm like, you're in Symphony X. What are you doing? And he's like, You know what, man? That stuff, it keeps me humble. He goes, it reminds me where I come from and who I am, and it's important that I keep doing that as long as I can. I'm like, that's really cool, man. So that's Mike LaPon.
That is really cool because there's people like, that get famous and then they don't know anybody. They forget where they came from. And it's stupid because, like, these people made you, you moron. You know, I mean,
Exactly.
why snub them? But that's good. He is a good guy, and we talked. Well, we're going to get into a lot of things, but the one thing we want to know is who influenced you to sing.
As a singer, for sure, Robert Plant was definitely a big influence early on. Then later on, Halford, Robert Smith from The Cure, actually, for some of the like emotional inflections and stuff. And and then with contemporaries, even like I'm a big Russ Anderson fan. Like I think there's a lot of great. Yeah, there's a lot of great metal guys. I'm friends with Ray from Fates Warning. I love his voice. So there were a lot of contemporaries that I think I was influenced by a little bit too.
Well, you almost got to be because it's not like it's a competition, but it's almost like a football game where two teams at the end of the game they go and say, hey, what's up, man? And it's how it is. Music should be shared by everybody. Like, why not be friends with people in your same caliber?
Listen, that's how I got into Watchtower. I was pen pals with Jason McMaster, the singer before me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Hey, that doesn't help. Now, Jason McMasters, I know that name. What is he? He's in something. How do I know that?
He was at the same time he was in Watchtower. He was also in Dangerous Toys, and they got signed to CBS.
That's where I know him from. Okay, wow.
Yep.
So that they were pretty famous for just a short but Dangerous Toys. I remember them. They were like Southern rock metal something like.
Yeah, like a Guns N' Roses from the South, that kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Guns N' Roses from the South.
So you're from Jersey, but you had your musical journey run through Texas, correct?
Yeah. Jason, he lived in Austin with two of the other guys, and Jarzambek Ronnie lives down in San Antonio. And Jason and I would write, letters, literal letters to each other. We were singers in metal bands. I was in Hades up in New Jersey, and we opened for a lot of the bands that they opened for in Texas. And I would tell stories with him back and forth. Hey, were they cool to you? They said to say hello. It was really cool. That's the old school metal days in the 80s,
Yeah.
And those were the days when you had to actually send a fucking letter in the mail and there was no email.
That's exactly right. That's the
or use the phone. Yeah, use the phone.
Yep. He would send me stickers of his band. I'd put them up. I'd send him my stickers. He'd put them in Texas. It was really cool. That was the old way to promote your band and do stuff. But when Toys got signed, it left a spot open for Watchtower. So he's the guy who actually invited me to come and audition for Watchtower.
Oh, excellent.
So now here's another question for you. With the way you did things then to the way things are now, where you could just send an email or whatever, do you think music and musicians now are not as connected as they were, or do you think we're too connected?
I think they're way more connected, but I think it's way more difficult to stand out.
True. Good point. But there is people that, like Mike LaPon, I'm telling you, man, he answers people on Facebook. That's fucking awesome. when
Mike is the best.
When fans text him or message him on Facebook, he actually makes an effort to Facebook him back.
Now, don't be telling everybody that, Guido, because he'd be getting inundated with messages. Don't tell everybody that. Poor Mike.
He said it himself.
I apologize to Michael Pond in advance. Well,
I had to get a hold of you. I know that you don't go on Facebook very often. You really don't, and I can tell. And I've been trying to hit you for days now, and finally I said, "Oh boy, what am I going to do?" It was tonight, and what am I going to do? And I finally said, "To hell with it." Mike was on, and I hit Mike up. I said, "Mike, are you busy, man?" And he says, "No, what's up?" And I told him, I said, "I'm trying to get a hold of Alan, and I can't seem to get a hold of him. I need his phone number for the interview tonight." He goes, "Oh, no problem, man." He reached out and he texted you a message. "Hey, dude, you supposed to be on tonight?" And
I apologize, brother. I thought I'd given my number to you guys a while back, like a long time ago, and I was just expecting the call.
Yeah.
He texted me, and I was like, "Yeah, no, I think it's later. It's like 9:00 or something." And then he's like, "All right, I'll give him your number. Is that cool?" I'm like, "Absolutely."
You probably did. Our assistant sometimes loses numbers,
Yeah, I do that all the time.
Okay. I have it on the calendar.
Well, that's good.
That's good.
Now, as far as Robert Plant being your influence and Rob Halford, those were great freaking influences to have. and different style influences, rather. I mean, they're both the same kind of a singer, but in my opinion, Robert Plant's more of a blues metal singer, and Halford's just the god of vocals, in my opinion. I don't know, but who is like for you now? Oh, wait, I get off on tangents sometimes, so I apologize. But now the guitar player in Mike LePond's Silent Assassins, didn't he play with Rob Halford? I think he did.
The guy who did half of the solos on the CD did. Yeah,
okay,
that's metal.
Okay. So now Rob Halford, do you think he was more of an influence to your style than Plant?
Oh yeah, for sure, and Dickinson too, a lot.
Oh, it's Dickinson. That's another. That's like Bruce Dickinson to me is like Iron Maiden with the original singer would have been nothing.
I know.
Paul Di'Anno, they would have been nothing.
And I like the Di'Anno stuff, but he's not the guy Dickinson.
No, he's a great singer. He is. But Dickinson's just something different, man. He's like from a different planet. I don't know.
He's in a class of his own.
He really is.
And the fact that Iron Maiden is like the biggest thing in the world still is a testament to him.
I love that. I know, you're totally right.
I mean, they can go and sell out stadiums with him, and then without him, they can't sell out the corner bar.
No, I know. Motley Crue was the same way when Motley Crue did that thing.
But Motley Crue makes no sense because Vince Neil's not that great of a singer, and John Corabi was.
Yeah, I know. Corabi's a phenomenal singer.
Corabi is the most unrated singers in the world, and he just wasn't Motley Crue.
Yeah, but the same effect happened when they went out on the road.
Yes, it did.
They were singing the same size hole as Vince Neil was doing by himself. I remember that. And I'm not a Neil fan at all.
Right. No, I
remember that stuff.
I seen them in concert just a couple months ago, and Vince would sing every other word and let the crowd sing the rest.
Yeah, no, I know. Come on.
No, he's good for the sing-along. He's good. If you're roasting marshmallows and you're sitting around a campfire and Vince Neil, that's Vince Neil's style,
but
that's okay.
Yeah, Vince Neil is.
You're talking about Iron Maiden. I was really lucky on the Seventh Son tour. We actually played out in Long Island with Overkill, and before our gig, we all went to go see Iron Maiden at Nassau Coliseum, the big Coliseum on the island, and we got to sing on stage with them for.
Wow.
Was it The Loneliness of the Long Distance Runner, or like one of those songs? It was a big like chant. It was so cool.
Yeah, that would be. See, like my one of my favorite singers of all time is Chris Cornell, and that would be my dream. Would be standing on the stage with Chris Cornell.
I would stand a fucking chance, man.
I would probably
that guy would blow you off the stage.
Oh, he would. Yeah, I mean, it's Chris Cornell. Man. I mean, I'm Guido. I mean, fuck, yeah, he would. But I don't even think I could sing if he brought me up on stage. I'd be like, but he still does it. That's Chris Cornell's one of those guys that he just adapts to every style change there is, and he doesn't give a shit. He just sings.
He's unbelievable.
He is. And whether he's in, Soundgarden or Audio Slave or even on his own, everything is good. I seen him on a tour, on an acoustic tour, just him and a guitar, and he packed every fucking venue he played in.
Unreal. I'm not surprised, though. He's been like that his whole life.
Let me ask you, Alan, what's new for Silent Assassins? Is Michael Pond going to go off and do a tour on his own, or is that going to be more or less the album and the EP and that's it?
We talked about trying to do some shows. I don't know about a full-blown tour, and we talked about trying to get on some of those, excuse me, losing my voice, some of those heavy metal cruises or like a festival in Europe or something. Right. I think that would be doable and cool. Nothing too crazy, because all of us are working. Well, I should say I'm working. Mike, he's ready to play whatever. He's always up for it. But Symphony X is going to Europe. Symphony X is leaving for Europe, I think, soon.
Yeah, they're leaving in a few weeks. I think it was like first part of March, aren't they?
Right. So they'll be gone for a month or two. And then when he comes back, he said he has a lot of the stuff already laid down for the next Silent Assassin CD.
Oh,
and
cool.
I'll be singing on that. Yeah, I'm not sure who's playing lead guitars or any of that stuff. Mike did a lot of the rhythms on his own, the first record.
Well,
so
I don't know if you know this or not, but the whole entire Silent Assassins album is in our general rotation. So your voice is heard at least 3 to 4 to maybe 5 times a day.
So
Thanks.
so yeah, so it behooves you. So it behooves you to tell your friends about kgfrocks.com.
I gotcha. We'll
See,
do we'll do a sharing frenzy after this.
Yeah, because you really are. It really plays. I mean, you're in a general rotation, and what we do is we play music from 1966 to 2016. So we play the whole gamut, and
Awesome.
you're in the file with the new music. So the new music rotates a little bit more than the classics because we're trying to gather, newer, a younger fan base too. Because we started off as a classic rock station and realized that what are we doing here, man? Like, because when we heard bands like yourself and some of these other bands, we're like, we need to put the new music in.
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
you're played at least every couple hours. I'm not even joking.
Yeah.
That's awesome, guys. Thank you so much.
Oh yeah, and now that you're with us tonight, Watchtower will be added into the mix as well. And what's coming new from Watchtower, man?
So we signed a record deal. I don't know if I can announce the label yet, but we got an EP coming out in like July. No
Excellent.
firm date or anything yet. It'll be the first part of Mathematics from what I can tell so far, which is, like you said, the follow-up to Control the Resistance that we did back in like 89 or 90. So it's been a long, long time in between, but I don't think it's going to disappoint anybody. It's really cool. We already released 4 of the songs, and we're adding a 10-minute title track, which I just sang the vocals for like 4 days ago.
Excellent.
And that song is just so kick-ass and cool. I think to add another 10 minutes to it doesn't rip off the fans, because I think the plan is to do vinyl and an EP on CD as well.
Oh, excellent. Wow. On vinyl too, huh? That seems to be the new craze. That seems to be the new craze. I'm and even Walmart, believe it or not, you know those old vinyl racks that they had where they used to put the vinyl records in the old days?
Yep.
Before we had CDs? Yeah, they're starting to break those out at Walmarts and Target stores. I think the vinyl is making a comeback, man.
Well,
it's
the trendy thing right now. It definitely is. And the thing about vinyl that blows my mind is my brother, he's in his 30s, so he's a vinyl nut right now. And I told him, I said, what are you going to the record store for? Go in the basement, man. I got fucking everything. But they're paying like $35, $40 for one vinyl album. I'm like, what the fuck? I mean, I used to bitch when I had to pay like $9.99 for the album.
I know.
It's $6.99 on sale.
Right. Yeah. When the corner was cut on the top, you knew it was the bargain bit. But I got a lot of vinyl. But these young guys it's mostly young guys because I was reading about it. They're vinyl crazy. They go to record stores. They go to these boutique record shops, and like Jack White from the White Stripes has bought one of these things that was the first thing that ever recorded vinyl on. It's like a booth, and you go in the booth and you record.
Oh, I remember those.
He recorded his last album on that.
I'm old enough to actually remember those, where you go into the booth and you record a message or a song. Elvis Presley did that more than once.
Yeah.
So did Johnny Cash. Johnny Cash did it as well.
Free Rides was when he was in high school. Elvis just released his first single. So
yeah. Yeah. And I went to see Jesus Christ Superstar on the stage on Broadway. So
was that what Meatloaf was in that? I think.
Yes, he was. He was on stage. Yes, he was, and I didn't know who the hell he was when I went to see it. So
who was that fat guy up there?
Yeah. So it was a lot of fun.
What about like metal rock singers? Do you have any influences like them? I mean, I don't even know who to like throw out to you, but is there anybody?
Yeah, no, for sure. No, totally, for sure. Richard Butler from the Psychedelic Furs.
Oh, cool.
Robert Smith, like I mentioned before, from The Cure. Like, definitely. I'm a big new wave guy. Like, I love all those bands.
Mm-hmm.
So, I like a lot of the, like, I think when I put vocals to mellow parts in music,
right,
in the metal world, a lot of times I'll pull from those kind of sources for the emotion right, that they kind of put out,
Well, and that's cool too, because like when I was growing up, I'm from Buffalo, New York, and the Goo Goo Dolls were here, and we used to watch them all the time before they were famous, whatever. And I always liked the singer Johnny Resnick's voice, and I heard him one time say on a radio interview that he liked the Replacements. So then I went and started listening to replacements. I'm like, he sounds just like him. So you can,
Right.
you could see that's a cool thing when people. That's why we want to know who people's influences are, because it's like a map. It's a treasure map. You see where music evolved from. And
No, for sure.
and it's cool. So now listening to you saying that you like this and that, now I can hear it in my mind when I hear you. Oh yeah, that's where that came from. And I think that's cool because everybody is influenced by somebody. I don't give a shit who you are.
No, that's true. But the goal is always to find your own sound, your own voice. But to get there, you have to, have some kind of influence from somewhere, and hopefully you eventually find your voice.
Yeah. In this radio game, and I've been doing radio. I did before this, not online radio, did regular radio, whatever. My influences, were people like Dick Clark definitely was an influence on me. Rick D, Shadow Stevens, all these people that were like, oh my God, these voices. And then you see him and you're like, he doesn't fucking look like he sounds,
Handsome Dave. old Handsome Dave on, I guess it was Wayne's World. Yeah, yeah, Mr. Scream.
Yeah.
Handsome Dave. He was 5 foot nothing and ugly. Right. Just as ugly as they can get, man. But listen, Alan, where is Watchtower now? Watchtower is doing the EP and the new thing now. Are they gonna promote that album out in the world, or is it gonna just?
Yeah. There's definitely gonna be a full promotion from the label on that. We'll get a worldwide release, and it'll be really cool. I don't know, what will come of it, but we're hoping to do like runs of 10 to 12 shows at a time, maybe a few times a year, and hopefully some big festivals in the summer. Most of that will obviously come like 2017, most likely. But we're getting offers for stuff overseas now,
cool.
And a lot of times in the big festivals in the summer, bands drop out, and maybe we can jump on a festival that way. The word is out that we're looking for it. So
excellent. And now Europe has become really big on indie bands. I mean, they're more into the new rock coming out of the United States than the people in the United States are into it. They really are, and I notice all these bands. Ulrich Ellison, he's out of San Antonio. He's done 2 European tours. You've got
he's from Austria,
originally from Austria, but he lives in Austin, Texas. He's awesome. And then we've got Symphony X going over to Europe and doing a short tour over there, and all these bands are going over to Europe. And not to mention the fact that we've got 30% of our listeners are in Europe on the radio station. So
Germany is our biggest listenership. We don't know why, but
we have no why. But if you guys decide to go to Europe, would that be something you guys are looking to do? Watchtower.
What do you mean exactly?
What I'm saying is what have you guys talked about in Watchtower going overseas and going into Europe?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm talking about. So when that comes out, we're going to be able to capitalize on some of those offers. And right now they're booking 2017 festivals, so we can obligate till there, but we want to play before that. So we're hoping somebody drops out of a 2016 summer one. We can jump on, but
get on the Bonnaroo Festival, man. That's the fucking festival.
There's so many. There's so many. They're just so great. The key is to try to get over and do 1 or 2 on a weekend, and then play a week of shows and do another couple at least. Like get that kind of a run out of it. But we'll see what comes our way. But for sure, and I can tell you why the fans in Germany are your biggest listeners, because they're so not trendy over there. Like they love what they love. They are full on into the metal like you can't even believe.
Absolutely.
And they never forget it. They're not trendy. They don't like jump onto the next kind of sound or style and forget about their metal roots. They're like metal to the freaking bone,
Yeah, they are.
And that's why they listen so much, because they're totally hardcore. I love playing Germany.
It's that way in like Japan too, because like Marty Friedman, he said, "Fuck it, I'm moving to Japan." Marty Friedman's like rock royalty in Japan, and
exactly.
Here in the States, he's not, and it's a shame because he's an amazing guitarist, and there's a lot of people that are amazing. What baffles my mind is everybody's so hung up on this Guns N' Roses reunion. Axl, give it up, man, give it up. You weren't good then, and you suck now. So give it up. But then there's bands that are so good that nobody listens to. Why? Because somebody at the radio station or at the record company deemed them not good.
Exactly.
No,
That's what happens.
What I believe.
So that's
what I believe is it's not that they don't believe that they're good. I think they think they're too good, and they might outshine the stars that they represent. So you know what I'm saying? How do I express that? Okay, we'll take Silent Assassins. Okay, they're not going to get a whole lot of media play. They're just not, because they're going to outshine the current artist national act of today, and they don't want that, man. They don't want to show a dichotomy anymore. They want to restrict their listeners. And with what's going on in the internet world and with indie bands and all this stuff, do you find it more difficult today than, say, it was back in the 90s to release an album and go with it?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not doing it like I was in the 90s, because back then I was full on serious, trying to do it 100%. Now I mostly do music for fun. You know what I mean? Like I do it because I love to do it, and I appreciate that anybody even really gives a crap.
Right.
But I bet you enjoy it more.
Oh, I totally do, because it's on my terms, and I'm like liberated in a lot of ways. Like before, there was so much pressure to satisfy the label or pack the room with people or whatever. Like the pressure's enormous, and now it's just great that people even care and remember stuff. And when I look back on my history, my catalog with all the crazy bands I've been in, there's a lot of stuff there, and I'm glad I did all that and pursued my dream and never ever stopped doing it, even though I never really made it like a crazy Guns N' Roses or whatever,
Right. Well, Guns N' Roses made it, but you know what? They blew it too.
Absolutely.
If any band fucked up, it's Guns N' Roses, man. Egos got in the way, because they were on pace to be the next Rolling Stones. They were. They were the shit. They really were. And I remember seeing them in '91 with Metallica and Faith No More, and Axl was just a prima donna, man. I was like, this guy's a fucking asshole. I'm sorry. I make fun of him every week on the air, hoping he'll call in one day.
Yeah, he just might, man.
I want him to, because I'll give him a fucking free dinner coupon for the all-you-can-eat buffet, you fat motherfucker.
No, he's the opposite of how you have to be if you're successful. Like, he's so unappreciative. I'm friends with Eddie Trunk, who you probably know from that metal show.
Yeah.
Which I heard just got canceled, by the way.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, I know. But he told me that by that time they interviewed him, the guy was like, he made them wait in a studio like overnight. Like some insane, showed up at like 5 a.m. or some crazy story, and then was uncooperative at the interview. Like, just like such a douche. Like, who cares about that guy? That's why when they're making a big deal about Guns N' Roses now, it's like, that guy's an asshole.
He's an asshole.
How he sings, how the band is, whatever.
For me, I listened to Guns N' Roses, but it wasn't for him. It was more like, I loved Slash, and I loved Izzy, and I loved Guns N' Roses. I loved the sound that they had, but I didn't necessarily like him. And I remember going to that concert the one time, and I worked for a radio station here in Buffalo, and I had backstage passes to interview. Metallica was all on board, and Faith No More, and Slash, and then fucking Axl wouldn't even look at me. He just walked away like I was a piece of shit. And I'm like, all right, fuck you, dude.
That's his MO. I mean, everywhere that he goes, and I think he really just doesn't care. What the media thinks of him or anything else. But this isn't about Axl Rose, man. This is about Alan Tecchio.
But that's what we do. We talk to people, and we talk to other musicians about everything. Because when you get interviewed on some other radio stations, it's all this and that, and what's your label, where you're going. We want to know who you are too. What you like. And
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Listen, you had spoken earlier about Mike LePon and doing gigs in clubs. Okay, give us your idea of what the difference is between working a club and doing a festival where there's thousands of people. What's the difference? Is it more intimate in a club? Does that make you feel more comfortable, or do you like getting out there in front of that big fucking audience and just letting it fly?
Well, I love it all. It's definitely way more intimate in the club, there's no doubt. But at the festivals, you really get to, like, hobnob with all the people out in the crowd, too. And that's really cool. So, like, I'm the kind of guy, I get out there and to go, after the gig, that is, go drink beers and, like, hang out and talk and take pictures with everybody, and everybody wants your autograph, and it's really flattering, and it's really cool. And so that's got a lot of that kind of pluses to it. But the club, I mean, you're right there, you're in their faces, everybody's sweating on each other. It's really, there's something special about that, too.
Mm-hmm.
But, that's why it's good if you're touring to try to get some of both in the mix.
Yeah.
Definitely. And I always thought that was great too. Like when I was younger and I'd go see a band and they would, acknowledge the fans. You appreciate that. Even if it's only for a second, you still, you remember that forever.
Oh, it's all about the fans. That dictates the feedback to the people on stage. If it's lame, the show could be lame. If it's great, even if there's just a few people there, but they're going crazy, it makes you want to go crazy for them. And it's just, I don't know, there's a connection there that's really cool.
Hey, I seen a interview with Dee Snider one time where he said he was playing in Germany and, people throw things at you in the crowd. They were throwing fucking human shit at him and he still played. and he said,
God, man, that's a sick way to put it.
But he still played. He still friggin' played. And because he said there was other people in the crowd that wanted to see him, so he was playing for them.
Right.
Yeah. No, I get it. And although there's an example of a guy I met who I was very unimpressed with.
Dee Snider?
Yeah.
He seems like he's got an ego.
Oh, yeah. So it was beyond, and it was just so silly because it was after Twisted Sister. He had a band called Widowmaker for a little while.
I remember that.
And they, they were a bad band, but we went to see them at the Limelight, and that was a club in Manhattan that we used to play a lot. And when I was in nonfiction, and this is at the time when we used to play there a lot and pack the place on a Sunday night, like 2,000 people. It was a crazy scene. And he's there for his album release party, and we're going backstage in the VIP area because Kevin Bolenbach, the bass player from Nonfiction, his girlfriend worked for the label that Dee was on. So she's like, oh, let me bring you back to the backstage meet and greet with Dee. So we go back there, he's meeting and greeting radio people and guys like you, doing his schmooze fest thing. And I don't really care to meet the guy, but we're back there and we're kind of on the spot. And the girlfriend's trying to show up that she's working for the label and all that stuff. So she introduces us, and he's like, oh, who are you guys? So, oh, this is my boyfriend Kevin and his friend Alan. They're in a band called Nonfiction. And, they're signed to IRS Records. And he's like, oh, did you guys bring your notepads tonight?
Oh, wow.
Oh, no way. What a douchebag.
Yeah.
Oh, no way.
I just laughed, and I turned my back on him and walked away. I'm like, no, as a matter of fact, we did.
Well, the good thing, like Dee Snider, the one thing that I'll give him is when he stood up for the PMRC. But other than that, he is kind of a dickhead. But that happened to me too when I met my idol, David Lee Roth. Okay,
really
was a total dickwad.
Oh, that sucks.
I mean, he was like it was me and a couple other people from the radio station and these young girls. And all he wanted to do was talk to the girls, man. He didn't give a fuck about us, and
that's David Lee Roth, man. He's a horn dog.
And he started like almost making fun of us. Like I told my friend, I said, I'm going to be in the news tonight for punching David Lee Roth in the face, and it was just, when you meet somebody that you've idolized most of your life and they turn out to be a douchebag, it's kind of upsetting.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I met Ronnie James Dio once in the mall by accident.
Oh.
And he
That's
was
cool.
super nice, man. He was so cool.
Yeah.
He seems like a cool.
He was such a nice guy, dude. I got to tell you. I only talked for 2 seconds, but what a great guy.
Earlier in the show, we were talking about all these dying rock stars, man. Now, it's a morbid conversation in a way, but in a way, man, we've lost 7 major artists in the last 3 months.
It's really crazy, man. This year started off insane.
It's incredible.
Well, we were just saying that Dio's bassist Jimmy Bain just died yesterday.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm sure. Oh, you're just now hearing that, huh?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, great guy. I mean, he was a hell of a bassist, and hell, he even did a short stint with Thin Lizzy, I think.
He did a short stint with everybody. I mean, he was
Yeah, he was an
great
awesome
bassist.
bassist. So it's a sad day in rock history today, as it has been for the last 3 freaking weeks, man. David
How
Bowie,
old was he?
He wasn't that.
67. He was
Oh, he was that
67.
old. Oh, I didn't know he
Yeah,
was that old.
he was 67. Yeah, I just read the article on it, and the cause of death hasn't been released, but I'm sure it's age related.
Well, Jimmy Page started with Thin Lizzy. Actually, he was Thin
Yeah,
Lizzy before he was in Dio,
right.
and yeah, former Rainbow 60. Oh wow, yeah, I didn't know he. I didn't realize he was up there that much.
Yeah, he was 67. So with all these, it leads to know that there's a future for the new bands that are out there. Not to say that Watchtower is a new band.
Right.
It's more of a rebirth. Is that right?
Yeah, for sure. It's a resurrection.
In your mind? I mean, I know you've played a lot of shows and stuff, but give me a show that you played that you were just like in awe with the band that was with you on the show on the marquee.
Oh,
I mean, you had that one band that you really always wanted to play with. Who would that be? That's the question I'm asking.
not a show that I actually played.
Yeah.
A
Somebody you
show that I
showed
actually played.
the show that you played in where the other band was like, wow, I'm playing with these guys on the same bill.
Okay, but where I was impressed with them, right? Not them
Yeah.
impressed with me.
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
right.
the band, listen, we opened for Slayer on the Rain and Blood tour when I was in the 80s, and that was, like, just unbelievable. You know?
Yeah, well, Kerry King and all. Oh, that's a friggin' that's one of the most underrated metal bands ever. Because the way the music that they play is so freaking heavy. How can you play it anywhere? Like on regular radio? Do they ever get played on the radio? I don't even know.
Who, Slayer?
Slayer, yeah. I mean,
I hear it every once in a while on KC here in St. Louis, but other than that, I really don't hear a lot of Slayer, and that's in an unguarded moment, like at 3 a.m.
right.
When the DJ's bored.
I remember I was in Catholic high school when South of Heaven came out, and it was dress down day, and I wore my Slayer South of Heaven T-shirt to Catholic high school, and I got sent home.
What'd you say?
I got sent home for the day because I wore Slayer's South of Heaven T-shirt at a Catholic high school, and
You got
I'm like,
sent home.
yeah, and I think I had to go to like do confession some shit too, but
I know you've been playing with Mike LaPon and your boys there. Your good friends over there at Watchtower. Give me another artist, and no offense to Mike LaPon because he's awesome. Who would you like to play? Who would you like to do vocals for? Name a band that you'd really love to do vocals for, man?
I'd probably say Anthrax, but like early Anthrax.
okay.
Like Among the Living era Anthrax. Like that was a really exciting time for that band and that sound. And I was really jealous of Joey Belladonna that he got that gig.
Yeah.
Because I love what he did. I'm a big fan of his. But maybe that band. And I hear bad stories about some of them. I actually have met and interviewed Charlie a few times, and John Bush and I are still friends. We were friends for a long time back in the day. And I do like the John Bush era. It took time to grow on me, actually, but I actually do like it.
Right.
But maybe that, I don't know, and certainly Sabbath. If I had to pick like an all-time, I'd love to do a record with Tony Iommi.
Yeah, that would be sweet. Yeah, you definitely fit that. That might work.
I actually like the John Bush Anthrax better. They got a little heavier, I think.
Man, and I saw him live a bunch of times back then, and it was cool.
He came from
great.
what, Armored Saint or something, wasn't it?
That's right. Armored Saint.
Yeah. And Joey Belladonna was great too. I can't remember who their first singer was, but it was Neil Turbin, I think it was, or something like that.
Neil Turbin, that's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah. And Joey Belladonna era was definitely the more successful Anthrax era. But what do you think about Scott Ian's father-in-law being Meatloaf? I know Meatloaf keeps coming up tonight for some damn reason, but that's his father.
Wait, what are you saying? What's his Bible mouth about Meatloaf?
Scott Ian's father-in-law is Meatloaf.
Oh, I know, I knew that. I think that's hilarious.
I mean, how's that Thanksgiving dinner? You got Scott Ian and Meatloaf at the same freaking table.
Nice. Thanksgiving. Nice Thanksgiving. Hey, Alan, do you have a few minutes to spend with us now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Hey, listen, I'm going to do a Silent Assassins tune. And well, I'm not gonna call it. I can't call it a tune, man. They always say I'm old-fashioned because I'll say tuned and it's been a gas and that kind of thing. So we're gonna spin Silent Assassins. Hope you all enjoy it. This is Conjugal Visit with KGFRocks.com. We'll be back with Al and Tecchio in just a few minutes. Keep rocking.
LaPon, man. He wrote all that stuff.
Yeah, we're live with Alan Tecchio. I'm calling him Alan Tecchio, like he's some kind of what was that guy's name? Tesh. Yeah.
Yeah. I think they're a lot.
And everybody does it.
I think they're a lot different, John Tesh and him.
Oh yeah, a whole lot different. We were we were just discussing that song I just played. That's the title track from Silent Assassins, and I mean the whole album is awesome. And folks out there, if you get a chance, go to silentassassins.com and pick up the album. Are they on Amazon too? I think.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah, it's on Amazon. It's all over the friggin' place. So go out there and get that. Silent Assassins, and you guys just did a phenomenal job on that. It's a real clean record, man.
Yeah, we did it all in Jersey here, and it's all Mike LaPon, man. Like, he wrote all that stuff. He wrote all the music, all the words, all the melodies. I added a couple inflection things here and there, but it's really all his brainchild because he's just this old school classic metal fan, and he wanted to make a record, that was like the records he remembered growing up on, and I think he did a great job. He's got the ballads, the heavy stuff, the fast stuff, the slow stuff. I got to really expand my voice on it, which was really cool. We wrote really cool parts. So yeah, I mean, Mike, kudos to him on that one.
Yeah, it's definitely a good album.
Yeah, it's definitely good, and it's so much different from Symphony X, which is good because you don't want to sound just like the band that you were in, and that's what I like about it. And he did a good job on it. And I was like, I told him when he was on the air with us, I think I like the Silent Assassins better than Symphony X in my opinion, but that's just me. But I'm sure
that's cool.
I do because it's more of the music I like, and nothing against them. I love Symphony X. As a matter of fact, their singer, when he's in the Adrenaline Mob, I freaking love that band too. I said, what is every band they do good? It's amazing.
They got good taste.
Yeah, they do. I mean, it's just amazing how many projects that they do and that they're all good.
No, it's true. And Mike Romeo's influence on Silent Assassin is really cool. And some of those solos he does they're just so beautiful and so technical and cool. And actually, the fact that LaPon is in Symphony X, to me, being in Watchtower, is a real cool thing. Like, we have a Prague connection there,
Yeah, right.
The pedigree of Symphony X is like, Dream Theater and,
sure.
Warning, bands that are really, really top notch. And yet he can do an old school metal record and tear it up,
Yeah, I loved it. I mean, there's nothing about that Silent Assassins album. Like when we first got the copy of it, I was like, oh, okay, what's this going to be? And from the first track to the last, I was like, okay, it's over. Fuck, it's over already. I was like kind of pissed, because it was such a good album.
It's a very good album, and I think a lot of artists out there, including yourself, you're tied up in a whole boatload of projects, man. It's not just your main band, which is your heart and soul, but there are these outlets and these outlets to your music talent, and I'm positive that Silent Assassins is so different from Watchtower. Watchtower is a labor of love for you, man. It's like it's kind of like the mathematics thing. I mean, that's been a labor of love for you for a long, long time. And now that you're finally releasing it, maybe some of that new talent is going to just fly off your finger, fly out of your voice. Is there any difference between what Watchtower was and what they are today?
Well, in truth, when I left the band in 1990, 91, around then, I was pretty much disconnected from them. And sporadically, they worked on mathematics, the three of them, Rick, Ron, and Doug, for, the duration of 20-something years, like here and there. There were periods where they did it for a bunch of weeks, and they'd stop for months at a time. From what I hear, they were doing that, but I wasn't really involved. So it's not like my labor has been going on all that time. I was disconnected from them. And then we reconnected over time and did that song in 2010, did the festival in Europe, Keep It True, which was awesome, Germany. And then they got rid of me for singing. That's a whole other long story. But another 5 years went by, and we reconnected again and said, "Are we going to just finish this record or what?" And kind of put to the task, and here we are trying to do it. So that's the story with them. But the difference from then to now, I mean, then was with Jason on vocals originally, and I think it was a very different band. Billy White was on guitar instead of Roger Zombek, the original guitar player, who I never even played with. Ron was already in the band when I joined. And I think if you want to talk about from the era when I was in it back then to the era now, that's what you meant, for sure, because we all have careers now, and we're trying to fit this in and when we can in our schedules and try to do things as best we can. And it's not like the old days. Like the old days, I moved to Texas to join Watchtower and make it in the band,
Right.
That's probably the biggest difference. That's the biggest difference for me.
Excellent. Well, that was a fine definition then, man. That's
Definitely.
awesome. So if there was another challenge to rejoin Mike LaPond, you got no problem with that at all, huh?
Oh, I'm back, dude. I'm doing the vocals when he gets back from Europe. Probably
Excellent.
March or April, I would guess. I'm going to get in the studio and track all that stuff. But I've only heard the music like twice, and I haven't heard really any of the vocal parts yet. So it's all going to be fresh to me.
Excellent. Okay.
Right.
Well, a challenge is a challenge, right?
Oh, yeah, it's going to be awesome. Working with Mike is so easy, and he's so great to work with. It's like a pleasure. I swear to God. Like, I've worked with some nightmare people in the studio through my career, and Mike is the antithesis to all that. And Romeo does all my tracking. So Romeo at his studio in his house will record all my vocals, I'm sure, again, just like on the first one. And Romeo and I work really well together. He's really fast in the studio and the machines, and that's important, like to keep your vocals. You got to be in the same frame of mind and in the mood and then strike while the iron's hot. If you got somebody slow behind the board, it just sucks all the wind out of you,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does. It does make a difference. Yeah, Romeo is. That whole like I said, even his solos were good. Like when I first heard it, I'm thinking to myself, "Wow, this band sounds like they've been around forever." Because you guys sounded so tight, and it was like you really did. It'd be amazed to people to learn that really that's the first CD you guys put out, because you sound like you've been playing forever together.
Well, I mean, and the drums are programmed, but Romeo programmed them too, and they sound so natural and real to me.
Wow, really? I didn't know that. See, that's awesome.
Yeah,
well, he's a studio wizard.
Yeah, Romeo did all that. He did all that drum programming. It sounds so natural, right? And you didn't even know, and that's hard to do.
That is amazing. I couldn't even tell. I couldn't tell that. Yeah, no, that was awesome. Excellent.
That's all Romeo. That's all Romeo.
And he's now I'm gonna have to start investigating Romeo a little more, because wow, he's pretty damn good. Maybe I'll have him produce my next record when it's never coming out, but I don't have one. But
He's the best, and he would totally do it. Now, keep in mind though, he didn't mix the record. Eric Rachel mixed the record.
Okay.
I took it someone else to get mixed. It was also in Jersey, down in Sayreville. And that guy did a record that I was on back in 1994 called Power. Dan Daly was a guitar player in that. I did just one album with him. I was a hired gun kind of singer, but total like Yngwie, big epic metal type stuff,
Okay. Now, do you like Yngwie? Is Yngwie is progressive metal your thing?
Yeah, I mean, I like it all, but I am an Yngwie fan, and it's funny you asked that because I've been listening to. Do you remember the band Steeler?
Oh yeah,
I do. Yeah, I remember him.
Okay, so Yngwie's band Steeler, when he was in L.A. for the first time, the bass player was Rick Fox, and he was actually in a band called Aggressor in New Jersey before he moved to L.A. And Rick Fox's Aggressor, the band that he was in, Aggressor, I actually joined after he was out. So we had this small, weird connection to the Yngwie 6 degrees of separation, And I was just listening to Hot on Your Heels the other day from Steeler, and that whole solo in the beginning part of it and the song itself, I mean, just so rippingly good for such a young kid. I mean, whatever he became, he tried to do pop records with Joel and Turner and stuff, but I like their early records with him. His very first solo record, I think, is an absolute epic classic. There's barely any vocals on it at all, but just amazing music. And I think he kind of burnt out early and tried to go for like mainstream success and ruined it. If he just stayed totally cool and classical, it would have been a bigger career for him. But whatever, That's just me.
A lot of people they get a little bit of fame or know it, and then they totally switch. Like the classic example is Metallica. Oh, we'll never sell out. We'll never. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Now they're doing every automotive commercial there is.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're just playing the game is all they're doing. I mean, I remember the day when Mick Jagger damn near left the Rolling Stones when one of their songs got attributed to a car.
Mm-hmm.
And it got sold out from under him by one of their ex-producers, and he was livid. He was so pissed off. But now you're catching Rolling Stones songs on several ads out there and TV shows and stuff just like the Who.
Right.
They didn't sign off on what was the name of that show on TV that did. They played Who Are You on the beginning of the show, and
right?
No, yeah. New York. No, not Miami Vice. Then those fucking CSIs or whatever.
Yeah, the CSI, New York CSI. When that happened, I just said, "Oh man, okay, I guess they need the money." I don't know.
Yeah, you know what? At this stage of the game, I'm sure they're all just like, "Why not?"
Yeah.
It's there. Let's just do it. Whatever. All this artistic integrity was out the window 50 decades ago, unfortunately.
Well, a good friend. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No. It is what it is. It's part of the sad state of affair with the music business, But marketing's marketing. And look, I'd be lying if I said I wouldn't love to have a song on a commercial and make that kind of bread because you get paid every time it's played.
And not only that, the Rolling Stones got paid for one time to do a Microsoft commercial $4 million.
Exactly.
Right.
But yes, exactly.
What did they get for the Super Bowl? Wasn't it like $50 million or something
like that? Now, here's my thing. The Who, every time those 3 CSIs are played, now they're in regular rotation on TV and they're on reruns. Those people, Who get money every single time that song's played on TV.
That's
okay,
right.
So good for them. If I wrote a song and it was on a television show, I would exploit the fuck out of it.
Well, it's whoever wrote it, right? So it's whoever has the publishing.
Yeah, so it's whoever's got the publishing right. But the writers of those 3 songs were Daltrey and what the hell was Keith? Not Keith Moon. What's his name? No, the guitar player.
Pete Townsend.
That's his damn name. Yeah, so they get the bulk of the money. But licensing music licensing. I saw an interview one time with the publisher. I don't know who he was, but he said he owns a certain amount of music of other artists. He said he makes more money off of releasing them to movies and shows and commercials than he does off of them playing on the radio.
All right, I don't doubt that for a second.
Right.
We're good friends with oh God. See, and I interrupted for a reason, so I would know this guy's name. We've got a friend. Oh gosh, what's his name? Guido, help me out here, man. He does TV. He's done movies. God damn, Terry Quinn. Quinn and the Weasels, and they've done several movie tunes and stuff like that, and they're awesome. I mean, they make great music, and there's a few of them guys out there. The jingle writers. Jingle writers make a shitload of money, man. They make
they do, bro.
It used to be a guy sitting behind a piano with a cigarette hanging out of his mouth, jamming out a jingle to a song, and they'd pay him $1.50 for the song, right? I think the Jack in the not the Jack in the Box song, but the guy that wrote the Cracker Jack song, the original Cracker Jack song. Okay, that guy didn't make shit. I was reading he made like $50 for that song, and that song became a national treasure because of Cracker Jack, because of baseball and Cracker Jacks. But doing something like that today is totally different. That's money. That's bank.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Have you ever
But
thought
it's
about
hard to
doing?
break in. It's hard to break into. I looked into it. I mean, it's like I work this band they have called Tectonics. The guitar player and I just randomly met at a bar. He was talking to the owner and said he recognized me as a singer for Nonfiction, and I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I'm like, nobody. It's been like 30 years since I was in that band or whatever. And we started talking, and he turns out to be this smoking genius guitar player guy who writes these wickedly cool riffs. And we started writing songs together, and it turns out that I just totally lost my thought. What did you just ask me? What did you just ask me? I just went off track.
Freeride, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry about that. I got hung up. Oh, have you ever thought about doing, commercial or television or possibly movie?
All right, sorry,
tunes?
thanks. So that's what started. He and I writing. We didn't decide to start a band. We were just writing music to get it picked up for video games or radio or, sorry, not radio, but video games or commercials, whatever. And he, the guy's shopping that stuff out there, but he said it's hard. There's all these sound houses. They put your thing on file, but it'll just sit there. And you got to be like lucky that some producer listens to a million reels, finds your thing, and goes, "Yeah, that's what I want."
Right.
But once you get a few of those to happen, if you can, he said, then it'll start to become like more regular and frequent. But you got to get discovered because it's really hard. Everybody's putting stuff up because you can make music on your laptop now so easily.
Right.
Yeah, making music on your laptop. Yeah, I've seen some of those YouTube videos, dude. They're not quality.
No, I know. But people are doing it and they're putting it out there, and that's what you're competing against.
Yeah, that is a fact, and that's what we're all competing against. And Alan, we're going to go ahead and let you go, and we're so glad you could come on board tonight. This was fun, man. We had you on for an hour, man.
Totally awesome. I appreciate it, guys. It's so
Man, what
huge.
a great conversation, man. Thank you so much for coming on board with us tonight. We were looking forward to this interview, and I'm so glad you came on board, man. That was awesome. I appreciate it.
My pleasure, man. Thanks so much for having me. And send me the links and whatnot, and let's post this stuff up there and let people check it out.
Oh, not a problem, man. And yeah, folks, you can if you want to listen to the interview again, you can go to www.kgfrocks.com, and it's right on the front page, man. You can't miss it. And the re-recording, it'll play again all week this week before we do our show next week. So, Alan, thank you so much for coming on. We do appreciate it, man.
Thanks, guys. You have a great night.
All right, man. Thanks for coming on board. Good night. Say good night, Guido.
Right.
Good night, Guido.
Later, man. See you,
Yeah,
Alan.
man.
All right, man. Alan Tecchio of Silent Assassins and Watchtower and all kinds of other bands. So that was an awesome interview, man.
Yes, it was.
Yeah,
I liked it a lot.
Yeah, that was a whole lot of fun, man. Well, it's been determined that Conjugal Visits is a smash hit, man. And we are this shit, man. No doubt about it. And coming Super Bowl Sunday. Now, I know y'all want to watch the Super Bowl. But,
I do.
90% of the people who aren't going to watch this Super Bowl is because their team isn't in it. Everybody watches the Super Bowl. So, Super Bowl Sunday, you can either listen to our show with Gabby Ray, which is going to be kick-ass, or you can watch the Super Bowl and then come back and listen to the show again because it's available all the time. There it is. Yeah, in a nutshell. So what's up, man?
I don't know, man. Oh, I just had a burp there.
Yeah, I know Alan is an awesome vocalist, man. I mean,
awesome.
The stuff that they laid down, the tracks that they laid down were just phenomenal, and it was a whole lot of fun. But you touched on some stuff tonight. I touched on some stuff tonight. It was an interesting interview. It was very good.
You're always touching stuff.
Yeah, well, it's a habit I can't break, man. It's a habit I can't break. I like to touch.
You're just a toucher.
I touch all the time, man. That's just who I am.
Remember that song, that gay song you used to put in the radio station, I Touch Myself?
Yeah, that's the one you put in, as a matter of fact. You did it as a favor to me. Actually,
Yes.
no, you did it as a favor for Tony. So it was more like, yeah, yeah, you did it. It was over at the old station, actually, is where you put it in. And he came on and, had some questions about why we put that in there. And we said we dedicated it to him. I touched
Yep.
myself. Yeah, I touched myself. That's a great karaoke
It was
song.
more, his was more like, I touch myself.
I touched myself. So, sometimes, man, I just don't know. Sometimes I just don't get it. So we haven't heard from anybody on the outside, man. Anybody out there listening? You want to come in and chat with us? Come on in. You got to bring up a conversation with us, man. We're here. You can
Here
go
we are.
in and talk to us. Don't
You
be
can yell at
scared.
us. I want Axl Rose to call in. You call in. Don't be a
Hey,
sissy.
yeah, don't be a pussy. Tell us
Call
why
in.
you're such an ass. Give us a
Tell,
legitimate excuse on why you're such a fucking douchebag.
tell us why you're fat now.
Yeah. Tell us why you're fat.
It's more like, welcome to the buffet.
Welcome to the buffet. Green grass and high tides, mister. That's all there is to it.
So I didn't realize, I was reading about Jimmy Bain, and Jimmy Bain, this is where he was not. I mean, he did some things with Thin Lizzy, but the first band that he started in that was famous was Rainbow.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was in Rainbow. He was in the second incarnation of Rainbow on the second album and beyond. So when Dio left Rainbow to go to Black Sabbath, right at that time was when Blackmore went back to Deep Purple. So Bain had no job, so that's when Dio got together and created Dio and took Bain along with him, along with Vivian Campbell and oh God, what's his name? Appice, not Carmine, the other one, Vinny Appice. And let me tell you something. Just the other day, and I didn't know he died. I was cleaning my house, and I normally listen to the station, but for some reason that day I just wanted to listen to just one solid band. You know what I mean? So I threw on Dio's Holy Diver,
Right.
and I was like, "Oh my God, I forgot how good this band was." And it goes to show you that album, Holy Diver, and maybe the second Dio album, Last in Line. I could put that against anything going out today, and it will sound just as good or better.
Oh, yeah. You know what? There wasn't a lot of depth to it compared to Holy Diver. I thought it was a pretty bland album. And
What,
I
the
think
second one?
Yeah. I thought it was bland.
Oh,
It was
no.
the same
Last
old
in
shit.
Line? No. Come on. Last in Line, that song, Last in Line, and Egypt, the Chains, what happened is on the third album, I forgot the name of it because I don't even love it. It had the song "Hungry for Heaven" on it and shit. He tried to change so dramatically and go more like of a radio-friendly rock that he fucking blew his whole thing, And
Well, that's because his earlier stuff couldn't get on the radio because they didn't want the head banging. I mean,
yeah, but that's what.
that one.
But that's
song,
what sells now. But that's what sells now. If you look at Dio's catalog now, those two albums outsell anything that he has still to this day.
That's true.
And I was reading a thing on the internet the other day. It said, for the first time in the history of music, old rock is outselling new rock.
Yeah. Yeah, that was on. I saw that on Facebook. Now, everybody says, well, you can't believe everything that you hear. Well, I posted it on our KGF Rocks group page. And if you want to go check out the article, it's in there on how these bands from yesteryear are kicking the hell out of the new bands today.
Right.
And I think it's because of a spread out media. It's because of a spread out media